Hi everyone, I am Lorna. I'm the founder of Women Who Want More UAE, and today I am joined by Aliya, and I'm really excited to have her here. I know her as a confidence coach. I'll let her introduce herself a little bit more, but I think firstly I wanted to say a big thank you to Aliya because I actually worked with her as a coach very briefly, but the impact that had on me actually, was one of those steps that eventually led to this group being formed. And I did my first video with Aliya, so it's kind of funny. It's coming around in full circle now, and I'm here and I feel very comfortable talking to you on camera. So thank you for your piece of this in the journey.
Oh, thank you, Lorna. And it's really great to see, your journey and see how, you over time as well, doing the first video in this group and everything. So thank you for inviting me to be here today.
No
Thank you.
worries.
And hi to everyone who's watching as well.
So tell us about yourself. How would you describe yourself?
Okay, so I'm now living in Dubai, originally from the UK, so just outside of London. Then I moved to Abu Dhabi 2 years ago, and then now living in Dubai. So I started my own business back in the UK. So I'm a life coach and NLP practitioner, and I specialize in confidence and self-esteem for professional women, ambitious women.
Fantastic. Yeah, and it's from what I can tell, it's been incredibly popular. I've attended some of your workshops, and the people who go just really seem to blossom as a result of the work that they do with you. So I really wanted to pick your brains today.
Sure.
So we wanted to keep it fairly short. I know you have so much sort of insights and backgrounds and things like that. So what we're aiming to do is sort of like 10 questions in 10 minutes. So they're going to have to filter out that that knowledge that's in your brain and see if we can get some sort of key highlights from your whole knowledge on this topic, and hopefully we can bounce a little bit as well if we get time. So let's start with confidence, with that being our topic. So what does confidence mean to you?
So for me, confidence is really about, how you feel about your abilities to do something. So let's say you have a challenge, there's a goal that you have, it's how you perceive that. So how you feel about your ability to actually make that happen. That's really what confidence is about, how willing you are to step out of your comfort zone and make that happen.
And the thing that's always resonated with me that you said before is the difference between confidence and self-esteem. Confidence varies by situation, is the way you positioned it, whereas self-esteem is that base level, right?
Yeah, so confidence, so confidence, as I was saying, is more about your ability to do something. So you have a goal, you have a challenge, you're like, right, how capable am I of making this happen? Whereas your self-esteem is more about how you feel about yourself, how much self-love you have, how much positive regard you have, that's your self-esteem. So, I think this something that always interests a lot of people is the fact that you can be, very confident, but your self-esteem can be quite low. So, you can be, for example, very confident at work and be like, yes, I'm going to take on this challenge. Yes, I'm going to step up at this meeting. Yes, I'm going to go for that promotion. You're confident in your abilities. But then, when you're on your own, for example, you're very negative towards yourself. You're very hard on yourself. You just don't have much love for yourself. So it can be sort of like, a bit of an imbalance there. But on the whole, as yourself, sorry?
I was going to say, it sounds like you really need to work on them both to feel good about yourself, right?
Yeah, definitely. And, as your self-esteem grows, as you start to love yourself more, get to know yourself and accept yourself more, naturally your confidence, begins to grow as well. But on the flip side of that, you can have pretty good self-esteem. So on the whole, feel pretty good about yourself. But then when it comes to, stepping out of your comfort zone, you can sort of lack confidence in different areas. So, But on the whole, as you build them, they both, flourish over time.
Fantastic. So what's the benefit of growing your confidence or your self-esteem? Why should we be focused on
where
that?
do I start? Where do I start? When you start to build your confidence, everything changes. And I've seen this from myself, from the clients I work with, from women who come to my workshops. It just changes everything. Especially, because there was a time where I wasn't very confident in myself as well. My self-esteem was much lower. And, as a result, you just hold yourself back, right? You never think that you're good enough to do what you want to do. You're always holding yourself back. You don't speak up, you don't put yourself forward for opportunities. And so once you start to build your confidence, suddenly you start saying yes, all those things that you were running away from, you're like, you know what, I can do that. I will say yes to the opportunity. I will dream a little bit higher as well, because when we're not so confident, we keep our dreams, our goals around here. But then when we start to build our confidence, we're like, actually, I can go there. So, we start to just, everything changes. We feel much better in ourselves as well. And not only that, but people around us can see it as well. Your friends, your family, your colleagues will start to pick up on it as well, that you're more confident.
Yeah, and I think what you said about your limitations sort of opening up is so important as well, because daring to dream is part of it. It's not just about saying, oh, I really want to get here and I'm not confident enough to do it. A lot of people wouldn't even consider sort of the options around them. They're just like, that's not for me. I'm not that sort of person. But actually, as your confidence and your self-esteem grows, suddenly the world does open up and there's opportunities everywhere, right?
Definitely. And it's not like, things around you just magically change. It's because you start to see yourself differently. You start to see the world differently around you. Like, I can do that. I am good enough to do that. I can make it happen. So 100%. And 100% the people are, like you said, the people around you will start to see it as well. And that's the great thing about it, is that if you're, for example, someone who wants to progress at work, people will see that and they'll push you forward as well for it. So yeah, it's a domino effect, really.
So what has been the most, because you come from the background of coaching and you work with individual clients to an extent. So what has been your most surprising journey that you've seen someone where they started from and where they've ended up?
I think it's really nice because everyone is different. I'd say the ones, so there's a couple of examples. So, okay, one is one woman who came to one of my events last year, and she was extremely shy. She sat in the corner. She didn't talk to anyone. She came up to me, only me, and just said, "Hi, I'd love to work with you. I want some coaching." I was like, "Sure, we'll have a conversation after this." And so shortly after the event, we met up, and she shared that one of the things that she wants to do is, work on her confidence when it comes to social skills. And she even, shared that it took a lot for her to come to the event, which is like super, admirable to see. So she came, and then, we did some coaching together. And then I challenged her. I said, right, in my next event, because I was running an event shortly after, I want you to come and put everything into practice that we've, done in the sessions. And she's like, okay. And I'm not even joking. She just took everything on, and she just came into that event, oozing confidence. She spoke to everyone around the room. She put her hand up to answer the questions. And it was just amazing. And then, she did the same at work, and it was very important for her to do that at work. And then not long after, an opportunity came up at work, and she got the promotion. She got the promotion, and now she's running a whole team.
Wow.
So as a result of her, putting herself forward, grabbing the opportunity, so both socially and at work, and now she's, flourishing. Obviously, she's a bit like, oh, it's scary. Of course, it's still going to be scary, but she's making it happen. And so that was one example. And then so you have the clients that are doing that. And then on the other hand, I have the clients who, they're kind of not, they kind of don't really know who they are. They feel quite out of balance. They're just like, I don't have much direction, or they feel quite overwhelmed with a lot of things. And then just from the coaching and feeling more connected with themselves, they just start to feel this inner sense of calm, this peace in themselves. So I don't think it's always about tangible goals. Like, yes, it's like, yes, yes, yes. But for me, it's amazing to see some clients just say to me, you know what, I feel good. Like, now I can just I can be present. I can be mindful in the moment. And I'm just like, that is incredible in itself. Because that is the foundation, really. And then once you have that peace within yourself, that's when you're like, okay, what do I want to do now? What do I want to make happen? As a result of just chasing all these goals. So that's incredible to see.
Well, a personal observation I've had as well is I saw something a while ago. Instead of focusing on how you feel, because we go, oh my God, I feel nervous, and everyone's in here, everyone knows what they're talking about. If you stop thinking about how you feel and start focusing on how you're making other people feel, naturally you'll sort of your brain changes, and you sort of know the person that you want to be. And then on the other hand as well, sometimes it's a case of feel the fear and do it anyway, right? Okay, you're not feeling confident, but do it, and that's going to be the challenge that actually makes you step up and grow into that space.
Definitely. And I think that's what confidence is about. I don't think confident people don't feel fear. It's that when you have that confidence in yourself, you do still feel the fear. You're like, oh my God, this is really scary right now, but you choose to push through it. When you have that confidence in yourself, there's two choices. You can either run away, or you can be like, I'm scared right now, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to push through this. Yeah. And that's what confidence is about. And confidence, comes after that. It's not, we often think we're going to wait for the time where I feel really confident and then I'm going to put myself out there. No, do it, and then you'll feel, the confidence grows as a result.
That's very similar to motivation, right? Everyone sort of sits around waiting for that motivation to strike to go out for a run, for example. But actually, it takes discipline at first, and then the motivation follows. And I'm sure that's the same with confidence.
Oh yeah, definitely. And even on that note, it's the motivation also builds from seeing the results, right? You're like, wow, I feel good. I can't believe I did that. I want to do it more. I want to do some more and more and more. You love that feeling. You surprise yourself.
And sometimes that could be leaps, or it could be baby steps, right? So what's the value of? Sorry, because I'm sort of building on that question. I'm getting excited now. So what can a coach do for people, people who realize that maybe they want a little bit more out of life? What does a confidence and self-esteem coach do?
So, when women come to me, I really sit down with them and help them, as coaches do, help them identify, where they are right now. Mm-hmm. Where they want to go, what are their goals, and it sounds like a simple question, but I think a lot of people don't, how often do we actually sit down and really think about where do I want to be in, let's say, 1 year's time? How do I want to feel as well? What do I want to make happen? And actually allowing ourselves to kind of step into that space of, where can I, if anything was possible, where could I be? So really allowing them, give them the space to do that. And then, helping them identify what it is that they're doing to hold themselves back from making that happen. So, what is their mindset currently? What are their habits? What is their environment like? Your environment has a huge impact on your confidence and how you feel. So we work together on those areas. So it's a journey, and then over time we work through them. Mm-hmm. And, with my full support, with the coach's full support and accountability as well, you slowly, like you said, take those baby steps. And it is about baby steps. I don't think you should just be leaping and leaping and leaping. It's about, being consistent with small baby steps, because that's what leads to the big change over time. So I think a coach's role really is to give that support and accountability and to the client.
Fantastic. And for those
people, and be the cheerleader as well. Be the cheerleader the whole time, like woo.
Well, that's important, isn't it? Having someone who's not your friend or your family. These people are designed to love you. That's why they're in your life. But to have a third person see you without judgment and be like, you are doing great, or this is specifically something that you're doing really well, it's a completely different feeling from your mother or your friend.
No, definitely. I was actually thinking about this the other day, because when I share parts of my journey of how my confidence built. And so, prior to the coaching, I did my master's in public health, very different to what I'm doing now. And I worked at Public Health England. And then, one of the things I had to do was, literally age of 20, I was like 24 at the time. My manager was like, you know what? I set up this forum. So I set up this like antibiotic resistance forum. It was a national forum. And then I was like, okay, right. So we need to find someone to chair this. And my manager was like, I think you'd be great. And I was like, no. She's like, no, I think you should do it. I was like, what? My heart sunk. She was like, you absolutely can do it. You can chair this. And same with public speaking, all of that. And I just realized, it was because she believed in me. It's because my managers believed in me that I was able to do that and step out of my comfort zone. And, my confidence massively grew. And I think, if you can't be your own cheerleader right now, it's important to have someone in your life who believes in you before, you can believe in yourself. So, a lot of people don't have that. In their life.
So people who don't have a coach or don't have a coach yet, what tips can you give them? So let's talk briefly about like a situation that naturally will make people feel a little bit nervous, whether that's going on a first date or an interview or anywhere where they need that sort of, okay, I've got this. What advice or tips can you give them?
Okay, so I think for one, breathe. This is like a great thing. When you feel, I think confidence is being calm. Calm is confidence. So when you're in a state of feeling calm, that really allows you to feel confident. This is something I still do even now, like regularly. If I'm like in a bit of a state where I'm like, oh, I need a bit of confidence, I'll do, deep breathing. So that's one for sure. So before a date, before an interview, going to the toilets and do some, breathing. And then secondly, I'm all about the power posing as well. So if you don't know what power posing is, go and, stand with your hands on your hips, stand hip width apart. put your head up and just, stand really strong and powerful for over a minute. And, studies, Harvard research has shown that, this increases your testosterone, so helping you to feel more confident, and it reduces your cortisol, which is your stress level. And I swear by power posing, I think it's amazing. You feel super confident after.
Yeah.
And everyone who's come to my workshops and done it after, they've messaged me, they're like, it was amazing. So do that's tip number 2. And then my tip number 3 is, give yourself a pep talk in the mirror. Like, I love these as well. Just in the mirror, look at yourself and be like, you've got this, like, you can do it, you can do amazingly, yes, I've got this, I can do it, let's go, get yourself like ready, and that makes all the difference as well. So just try to do 3 things, and that will give you an instant boost, like a shot of instant confidence.
I'm also a fan of the power pose, and I call it my Wonder Woman pose. And I'll dive into the bathrooms, and you feel crazy whilst you're doing it, but like you say, it's actually research driven, and that does drive some sort of hormonal changes in your body. And also on your final point about sort of giving yourself a pep talk, I think that plays into that sense of visualization, and that's something that's worked really well for me in the past. Like, how would this event go, or this situation or this workshop go if everything was perfect? What's the look on the people's faces? They're leaning in, they're engaged, they're talking to each other, going, wow, this is amazing. And again, it sounds a bit cheesy in a way, but actually, it's a very powerful tool to make you feel like, okay, cool. So what about going longer term? I guess this would be more, because if confidence is situational and self-esteem maybe is sort of the foundation of everything, how can you grow your self-esteem? Is there exercises you can do, or how do you recommend going about that?
Building your self-esteem. So again, it's different for everyone as well, depending on where they're at, which what they want to work on, what's holding them back. But I think for one, it's really simple as it sounds, learning to accept yourself as well, learning to be kind to yourself. So starting to, for example, catch yourself when you are talking to yourself negatively. There's the study by the National Science Foundation that found that 80% we have on average 60,000 thoughts per day, and 80% are negative.
A lot.
So which is a lot. So that alone is 95% are repetitive. So we're constantly repeating those negative thoughts that are bringing us down. So that is hugely going to impact your self-esteem. So for one, just being aware, rather than just kind of letting those thoughts run you, just start to kind of think of it like catching those thoughts, just catching those thoughts at the time, and just asking myself, okay, is this thought good for me right now? What is this thought doing to me? How is it making me feel? And at that time, like, just kind of dismissing it, or if you can, even just say something positive instead, like, what, no, I can do this, I am good enough. So start to talk to yourself more positively as well. One exercise I do give, which people do struggle, people do find this very difficult as well, is write down 20 things you love about yourself. Write them down and own it, and enjoy writing that list. A lot of people say, I don't like this, I can't do this. But then I say to them, well, I bet if I said write down 20 things you don't like about yourself, you'd be like, yes, yes, yes. And they're like, yeah, pretty much. So again, it's because you're training yourself to focus on the negatives. That's how you see yourself. So, to start talking to yourself like you would your best friend. Focus on the positives, write down things you love about yourself, and say them to yourself every day, positive affirmations in the mirror, and start to notice how different you feel after, 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, I realize I've completely been undisciplined. I haven't timed this at all. But I've been so absorbed by the conveation. I think it's super valuable. I did have one more question that I wanted to finish off on. About confidence. Is there such thing as too much confidence? Because I in my culture and in many cultures actually, and particularly as a woman, we're sort of judged for being a bit overconfident. Sometimes people look at very extroverted people and go, they're taking up a bit too much space. So what would you say to people who think that maybe being confident, being proud and loving yourself maybe isn't a positive thing?
I don't necessarily think that confidence is loud, it's in your face, it's I think you can be confident and have very good self-esteem and be the quietest person in the room. Okay. It's about what you feel on the inside. I think it might be easy to think the loudest person in the room is the most confident, like, wow, but that's not necessarily true. And yes, there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. But there is a difference as well. You know, confidence is internal. Arrogance is about, you know, feeling good by making other people feel bad. You know, you want to put other people down in order for you to feel good. So of course, if you've gone into that line, and you know, feel good about, you know, others feeling not so good, then that pushes onto arrogance. Whereas, you know, confidence, when you're confident, you want other people to feel good as well. You empower other people. So, you know, if that's what you're doing, it's confidence. It's not arrogance right there. But like I said, you know, feeling love for yourself and confidence in yourself, you can be quite, it's something internal. It's within. So,
and I think that's so true. And that was a huge part of my journey in developing my confidence, because I used to see it as something that was negative. Once I realized the difference between confidence and arrogance, for me, boiled down to one thing, and that was authenticity. If you're being true to yourself, whether you're an extrovert, introvert, whatever it is, if you're true to your values, then that is true confidence, and not that front that some people put across that appears to be confidence, but like you say, can sort of drive on the arrogant side.
Yeah, people, yeah, there can be a lack of confidence, which feels that for you to make up for that. So yeah.
And I think the beautiful thing about confidence, the more you have, actually, the more then you can give to the world, right? Your relationships are better. So it's one of those knock-on effects. And that was why I was so keen to kind of get you on here. And I loved that exercise you said about listing things that you love about yourself. And I would challenge everybody who's watching, maybe 20 is a bit of a push, but even publicly to say it. If you can list 10 of them in the comments below, I think that would be brilliant, and celebrate other people who are doing it. I think that's really nice to get people to blow their own trumpet, as it were, and not just, you know, wait for everyone else to give them the compliment. Like, it's right here.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, do it. Write it in the comments below.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Aliya. It's been amazing. So I know you've got an event coming up soon. Do you want to quickly mention that and how people can get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. So I'm running with everything online during this period. So I'm running an online masterclass next Saturday, so Saturday 25th of April. It's going to be, what is it? I'll put the details of it. It's 8 p.m. UAE time. And it's going to be a 90-minute confidence masterclass on, you know, how to build. So going into this in more detail. So if you're someone, you know, who's ambitious, you have goals, but you're holding yourself back, you know, I'm going to be talking in a lot more detail about what confidence is and how you can build your confidence. So, you know, if you want to register, I'll put the details in the link below, and you can come join us then.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, we've already shared it, but it can never have enough sort of entry points to that. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you, Lorna. Thanks,
No
everyone.
worries. Bye.